So, I've never played any Metroid games, but come on, this shouldn't be that hard. Like, I'm fine. Metroid Dread is one of the newest games on the Switch and one of the highest anticipated games of 2021. Well, it's finally out, so why don't we hop into this game and see what it's all about. Real quick, if you enjoy this video, be sure to subscribe to me. We're on the road to 1,000 subs. Thank you. So, a quick review of this game's story is, Samus Aran is tasked with investigating the planet ZDR, and when she arrives, she discovers that 7 Emmy robots are pretty bent on destroying her. Samus's abilities are stripped from her, and she slowly regains them by exploring the land of ZDR. The story is pretty awesome in my opinion. Obviously, it goes way deeper than that, but I just wanted to do a quick recap of it without, major spoilers. My first impressions of a Metroid game were pretty solid. Dread is a 2D shooter platformer hybrid with plenty of skills to master and bosses to face, and I enjoyed it a lot. Keep in mind, I literally just jumped into this game having never played anything similar to it. It's a hard game and I'm not used to that, but the difficulty mostly comes from me being trash, so keep that in mind. During the week of October 11th, 2021, Metroid Dread was the highest selling game on the Nintendo Switch eShop in multiple countries, which is also pretty dope. It sold over 86k copies in Japan that week as well. As for its reception, it was nominated for Game of the Year and Ultimate Game of the Year at the 2021 Golden Joystick Awards. IGN gave this game a 9 out of 10 amazing rating, and Metacritic gave it an 88% rating. So this game is selling pretty well and being received pretty well. If only my channel could be received very well. Sobbed me. Anyways, why don't we get into where this game really shines? I am going to warn you, from now on there will be slight story spoilers, but then again, why are you even watching a review if you care about spoilers? Go play the game! So, like I said, the main point of this game is to escape the planet ZDR and destroy the 7 Emmy robots that are hunting Samus down. This game definitely gets harder with each progression, but this game's abilities and moveset possibilities make the game so much fun to learn and master. It's like they reward you for being good, which I love in games. Okay, fine. I still suck even after saying all of this, but it's whatever. You're given gameplay hints and story progression by Adam, who you access and communicate with through the various network stations. He helps you progress further in the game and gives you helpful tips, which I definitely welcome, because I got lost a lot. A lot. Don't judge me, this is my first Metroid game, okay? There are plenty of abilities that you unlock as the game progresses, and you use them when you backtrack to other areas to unlock new areas within those areas that you unlocked by going to another area and found that area, but okay. Anyways, we'll talk more about the abilities when we get to Samus and her character. This game allows you to move in ways you probably didn't think were possible in a 2D platformer. Basic platforming skills such as jumping, wall jumping, etc. are present, but Samus also unlocks several different ways to traverse ZDR. One of my favorite parts of this game are the transitions between gameplay and cutscenes. They're so smooth and they just make you feel good. This scene before fighting Kraid is so dope, it just shows how to do cutscenes right. Overall, the gameplay feels extremely smooth, fast-paced, and most of all, finished. I haven't ran into really any issues with the gameplay other than me being trash. But what else is new? So since this is my first run around with Metroid, this is obviously my first time playing as Samus. And let me tell you, I think she's pretty awesome. Samus just has a swag aspect to her and she's dope to play as. Metroid Dread also has the fastest movement speed for Samus yet, so this makes the game fast-paced and action-packed. Samus interacts with characters such as Adam only briefly as she doesn't talk much. She does talk to a tribe member named Quiet Robe who tries to help her, but this is short-lived. Samus prefers to stay quiet mostly. This seems to be a consistency with Nintendo's main characters. Samus's main starting artillery comes from the use of her power beam, melee, and missiles. However, this is pretty short-lived, and Samus finds more and more upgrades for her arsenal fast. There are also new suits that Samus unlocks to be able to travel to new areas that are too hot or cold to traverse without them. It's a cool addition, but I wish there was more customization. That's not really a downside though, that's just a personal take. As I said, Samus is stripped of her abilities and is forced to get them back through exploring ZDR. Returning from previous titles are the free aim and the melee counter, but there are several new abilities you unlock throughout the game. For example, Samus gets an ability to turn invisible using the Phantom Cloak, a grapple beam to climb walls and open new areas, and way more. There are a ton of abilities, so I'm not going to get into all of them. Just know that you unlock so many and each and every one are amazing. One of my favorites has to be the Shine Spark. It's just so cool to see yourself launched in the air like that, and it actually takes some real skill to pull off. Using these gained abilities, it's crazy how strong Samus becomes as the game progresses, and she's almost as strong as the Rock.
It's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Put in the work, put in the
There are a ton of formidable foes for Samus to face on ZDR. As you continue through each new area, the enemies grow in health, firepower, smarts, and strength. The main enemies in this game are the Emmys, which we learned from Adam pretty early stands for Extraplanetary Multiform Mobile Identifier. Okay, that's a mouthful. I'm just going to stick to saying Emmy. You'll find these robots within Emmy zones, in which they can easily detect your movement by sight, sound, and especially touch. If they grab you, you have a very small window to fight back and stun them. I did pull this off a few times, I will say, but mostly it just ended with my demise. These Emmys are corrupted and are set to kill Samus, which is definitely not good, because these guys mean business. Like, my god. These Emmys destroyed me several times, and honestly, they're pretty much indestructible. Until they're not. Enter the Omega Cannon. You get this temporary cannon ability by destroying a central unit. This is the only way to defeat an Emmy. It kind of reminds me of Bloodsport's gun in like the Suicide Squad. It's so dope, but it definitely does a lot more damage than that gun though. Seriously, it did nothing. There are 2 phases you have to enter to defeat an Emmy. The first phase sees Samus using the Omega Stream, which melts the Emmy's faceplate away. The second phase sees you charging up the Omega Blaster, which at full power can destroy the Emmys with a swift blast to the eye. It's so satisfying to finally see these things go down. The Omega Cannon gives you a sense of power and makes you feel invincible, whereas otherwise you'd be running like a baby from these Emmys, and trust me, I did. Several times. There are also several bosses you have to face that are not the Emmys. These bosses, while they seem difficult, require tactics that can be simple for you to master. I had some issues getting into the later bosses of the game, but gaining upgrades for Samus and overall practicing helps you beat them. Seriously though, that cutscene for fighting Kraid is so dope, right? I'm not going to cover most of these bosses because I just want to kind of completely avoid story spoilers. You'll want to check them out for yourself. Here's a hint, they're pretty freaking hard. This game's map is much bigger than I thought it would be going into it. There are 9 total areas on ZDR to explore, including Arteria, Daron, Ferrania, and more. I think I mispronounced Daron. Yes. Each map is definitely different, but I feel like they're extremely similar, okay? I know that's like stupid what I just said, but hear me out. Like, yeah, there's a difference, but I don't know. It's not a big change, such as going into a new world in a Mario game. It just feels like they slightly run together. I can't be the only one that feels that. My favorite area is probably Ferrania. Once again, I don't know how to pronounce it. The ruins of the Chozo tribe is just such a cool concept of a story to me, and I like the look of it. In each area, there are plenty of collectibles, puzzles, and other things. There are map stations where you can download the area's map. There are recharge stations where you can heal up, teleportals which allow you to travel from area to area, save stations which allow you to save the game. Wow, big surprise, I know, right? And there are network stations in which you can send data that you find back to your ship and speak to Adam. There's obviously more, but those are the main things. All of these things take place in different colored zones on the map, such as yellow, red, and gray zone. The map in this game is great. While still being complex, it paves the way for a ton of exploration, puzzles, and secrets to find. I personally love parkouring and rolling my way through all of these areas to find the Emmys and die. Since Metroid Dread is still pretty new, I tried not to spoil Metroid Dread's story too much while still giving my honest review of it. I love almost everything about this game, seriously. If you're a new Metroid player like me, or even an experienced one, there's so much to enjoy here. Metroid Dread takes you on a journey that fills you with hype, and also sometimes fills you with dread when you're 20 deaths into a boss battle. Just me? Okay, fine. When you jump into Metroid Dread, you'll be thrown into an adventure you likely won't forget. It's filled with twists and turns and 2D gameplay unlike you've ever seen. That being said, I now say Metroid Dread is one of the best platformers on Switch, and one of the best games on Switch overall. It's a great game for sure. I would give this game a 9.5 out of 10, and I would highly recommend it. At $60, it's a normal priced game, but I would definitely recommend it over most of the other main Switch titles. There's a ton of replayability and overall things to do within this game. I mean, come on, what's not to love about it? Metroid really impressed me with Dread. As they say, first impressions really are everything, and this proved true here. What did you think about this game? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and make sure to hit that like button, and consider subscribing for more content if you enjoyed. This has been your boy BP Bradley, and I am out.